St. Louis and I rise today for the Equal Rights Amendment. We rise on this historic occasion on the eve of the birth of the Congressional Caucus for the Equal Rights Amendment, a caucus I am proud to be founding tomorrow alongside my co-chair in service, my sister in service, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. We rise in the tradition of those who led this fight before us, those whose shoulders we now stand upon, shoulders like Pauli Murray, Shirley Chisholm, Barbara Jordan. On the ERA Caucus Eve, this ERA Caucus Eve, as we near the close of Women's History Month, it is only fitting that we are here on the floor of this U.S. House of Representatives with our Congressional Black Caucus colleagues, because Black women have always been leaders of the fight to enshrine equality in our nation's Constitution. But we haven't always been in the headlines for leading that work. So today, we are here to declare that the reason the ERA is a priority for the CBC is because everyone in our communities has something to gain from its finalization, and Black women, girls, and queer folk have the most to gain. We are here continuing to lead, demanding exactly what is owed to us, equality. Because you see, the Constitution, in all its wisdom, guaranteed fundamental inalienable rights, but it stopped just short of guaranteeing those rights for everyone. Women, we were written out. And Black women, not only were we written out, but too many authors of the Constitution were busy enslaving, exploiting, and extracting the labor of our ancestors for profit, and were unconcerned with what is owed to us. Equal rights, nothing less. We need to start by being honest about who is harmed the most when equal rights are not enshrined in our Constitution. We know that without the ERA, the patchwork legislation that we have in place to protect women, including provisions of the Equal Pay Act, the 1964 Civil Rights Act, Title IX, and the Violence Against Women Act, has primarily benefited and made gains for white women. Now is the time to build on those gains and expand protections for all women and LGBTQ plus folks, all of us too. This is our moment. 100 years since the ERA was introduced in this body. 100 years. This is our moment to finalize the ERA so that we modernize the Constitution and make sure the fight for equality not only includes but centers the people who have been left behind because we were written out of this document. 100 years, and all we're asking for is 24 words. In 24 words, 24 simple ones, the Equal Rights Amendment will add to our Constitution that equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. That's it. In other words, this amendment would make the we the people become us, all of us. In doing so, the ERA can protect people from gender-based discrimination while simultaneously acting as a vehicle for progress. We see it here. This is just a portion. It can work to ensure permanent protections like fair wages, like violence prevention, like healthcare equity, like reproductive freedom, like LGBTQ plus rights, and like much else we not only deserve, but are entitled to and are owed. Equality and nothing less. That's what we're asking for. But we need the ERA, and we need it now, because equality is overdue. Equality is overdue. I rise in support of the Equal Rights Amendment today on the shoulders of the scores of Black women and LGBTQ plus people who have toiled on this initiative for 100 whole years to amplify their calls they made in this very chamber and outside of it, calls that resonate today even as the attacks against us intensify, calls to publish the ERA now. Publish the ERA now. Publish the Equal Rights Amendment now, because equality is overdue. Thank you, and I yield back.